Hey, welcome folks. Thanks for watching. Got a set of 2 league games here. Your Findlay Trojans in their home white will be playing the Columbus Capitals 2013 Select Team MCHL League game. 2 games today. So this first one at 3, second one at 5:30. In net starting today will be Finn Biggs for game 1. And it looks like to start off at the puck drop, we will have George Homewood, Mason Beach, Jonah Burkhart, Webb Sloan, and Laura Teagarden on defense. As teams approach center ice, we get ready to drop the puck. Puck is dropped. Let's do that hockey. Puck gets knocked back, collected by Columbus, but then knocked away by the active stick Teagarden. Pushed through the neutral zone. Columbus tried to go through the center. Sloan gets it for the Trojans, sends it across deep into the zone, but offsides the call, so we'll stop very shortly here into the first with a neutral zone faceoff. Same lines out there still for the Trojans. Puck is dropped. Homewood tries to kick that forward. Burkhart now trying on the forecheck to get that. Couldn't quite get to it. Gets out to neutral ice. Teagarden now collects. Moves that up the boards to Burkhart. Burkhart now trying to move forward. Beach has it. Then it gets poked away. Sloan collects though. Throws that back into the zone. Now Burkhart on the forecheck along with Homewood. As Columbus passes, mishandles that puck. So they have to take it back to the zone. Beach has it now in the middle. Beach now going to try to get a shot off. Rolls off his stick. Kept in though by George Homewood. He's going to try to move this forward, try to get a shot off. Players ran into each other, get it back to Sloan. Sloan dumps that along the boards back to Homewood. Homewood now with it in the corner. Burkhart and Beach in front, gets it back to Sloan. Sloan tries to take a shot, stick lift prevented that shot from going through. Now back, Columbus got a 3-on-1. Teagarden in there, nice job trying on the defense, but then collapsed. They passed over, missed the shot. And collected by Sloan. Tried to get that up to Grace, who was cutting through the middle on the line change there. So Grace and Cooper out there. Grace has the puck now, dumps that into the offensive zone for the Trojans. Peter Koski comes out as well with Mason Cooper. Nichols tried to keep that in as Nichols and Porter back. Peter Koski's got it now. He's going to send that cross ice to Mason Cooper back in the defensive zone. He's going to move that up the boards to Grace, just past his stick. So that's going to go, and trying to reset was Columbus, but errant pass will be collected by Nichols. Nichols now racing through neutral zone, tucks away one, but offsides it is. So neutral zone face-off. Again, Mason Cooper takes the face-off with Grace and Peter Koski out there with him. Fort and Nichols back on defense. Puck goes through. Kept in, and then brought out by Cooper. Looking for the reset, gets it to Nichols. Nichols tried to get that. He still got it through some skates. Tried to dump that into the zone, collected by the defense of the Capitals. Chipped out, collected by Cooper. Cooper's now going to dump that down deep into the zone. Peter Koski and Beach pursuing on the forecheck. Ooh, nice job there by Grace to hold that up. He got knocked down. No call there. Out to Fort. Fort's going to fire one. That hits the Columbus player in the leg. He knocks it back down to the corner as he collects. Grace down in the corner again. Columbus tried to clear up the boards. Fort was there. He's going to chip that behind for Grace. Grace now working behind the net. Runs into a little resistance from Columbus. Gets kicked out to the side again. Fort's there still. Fort now gets that over to Cooper, who's at the point covering. Cooper's going to fire one. Tipped in front. Still loose. Nice tip there by Peter Koski. But couldn't get through, but then Cooper there knocks that aside. Ducks under a player for Columbus. Peter Koski now battling along the boards with it. Fort's over there with him too, down to the corner, trying to clear. Fort holds that up. Gets that down to Peter Koski behind the net. Just bounces over his stick. Columbus has it. They're looking to clear the zone. They do. That's going to be a lot of momentum on that. That's going to be an icing, and so we're going to bring that down to the Findlay offensive zone now. Get a line change and a face-off here as George Homewood comes out with Hank Schwab and Harrison Schaaf. Eddie Homewood and Webb Sloan back on defense now for the Trojans. George Homewood takes face-off. Puck is dropped, dumped back to the corner. Player blows the tire there for Columbus, so battling for it in the corner. It's Homewood and Schaaf. Collecting it, keeping it back in the zone was Homewood. Nice play along the boards there. It's now Schaaf and Schwab now going behind the net to try to get that kept in. Oh, just over the bouncing stick of Eddie Homewood, but there to help out is his brother George. George tried a backhand centering pass that hit a Columbus player. Now Homewood battling with it against the board still. Try to get that over to Schaaf. Just goes past his stick. Back to the opposite corner. Schaaf there still. Nice job by Schaaf in the corner. Looking in the front. Gets to the Schwab. Oh, just off of his stick there too. But Sloan came in for the shot. Now Schwab with the shot. That got through. Hits the leg pad of the Columbus goaltender. Now trying to clear is Columbus, but holding it up in the middle is Eddie. Nice job by Eddie Homewood. And now George Homewood dumps it back into the zone. Kept in by George as they tried to clear. Now he's got a little bit of space. He's going to try and make one miss. Oh, Schwab gets it though in the middle. Tried to get a shot forward. Stick for Columbus got on that. Prevented the shot. And now holding it up in neutral ice with Sloan. Columbus collects, but they've got one man going through and a lot of white jerseys there for the Trojans. So Mason Cooper there now to collect for the Trojans. He's going to get that up to Hank Schwab off of his stick. He's going to tip that forward. Schwab now racing for it, but Columbus throws it back into the defensive zone. Now centered by Columbus. Columbus still battling with it along the boards. They have it looking for a shot. That shot goes off of Mason Cooper's shin guard. Mason beats there. Nice forecheck, or nice pressure there on the defense. Cooper's going. He's got Burkhart with him too, and Mason following. Tries to get to the center, take a shot, oh, off the blocker, oh, tried to chip that in was Beach, just couldn't get the stick on the bouncing puck. Good follow there. And now great work there by Ford on the poke check. Burkhart there, oh, we're going to have a little bit of contact. No contact calls earlier, but now we've got one, so unfortunately that's just how it goes sometimes, so. We're going to get a look early here at the Trojan power play, or penalty kill rather, as that seemed a little tic-tac, but that's all right. So make some adjustments. Beach out there with Burkhart. Burkhart takes face off for the Trojans. Burkhart knocks that forward, collected by Columbus. Now pursuing a shot, goes wide by Columbus from the point. Nice effort there by Nichols along the boards. Columbus comes up with it though. Looking for a centering pass was Columbus. Nobody there. Tipping that away. Excellent effort by Beach. Get that out of the zone, and now he's pursuing hard against the boards. Nichols has it. He chips it forward, hits the skate of a zebra, and then we're going to move forward and still get that out of the zone by Beach, and we're going to have an offsides call. So good effort by the Trojans there at the early start of this penalty kill. So we'll keep the same lines out there. Burkhart again takes face off for the Trojans. Puck is dropped. Burkhart gets that back over to Beach, who gets that back to Nichols. Nichols now gets that over to Teagarden. Teagarden now moves it up, trying to get it to Beach, just a little forward. That puck comes back. Nichols has it now. They're looking to reset, kill some more clock. Nice job by Nichols. Bounce that along. Waved off as the icing as they had a chance to play it. Beach there, aggressive on the forecheck. Like to see that. As Columbus wraps it around the boards, and now they look to break out of the zone. They do. 4 white jerseys back, 3 blue jerseys there. So got numbers, centering pass, nobody there, but it does come out to the point. Shot goes wide by the defense. Nichols now collects in the corner. He's got it, makes a man miss. Nice little toe drag there. Gets that over to Beach in the middle. Beach tried to get that forward, but just came off his stick, but then tipped aside by Teagarden, collected by Nichols. Tried to get that up too. Grace coming off the bench as well. Comes out to the middle, and Peter Koski off the bench has it. He's got a little bit of room. He's going to try to get a shot off. He does. Nice shot. Held on to by the goaltender for
2 seconds. 2 seconds. Let's go.
Columbus, as we've got 2 seconds left in this penalty kill, and we've got an offensive zone face-off man down, so good situation here. Peter Koski and Grace out there along with Sloan and Teagarden. Puck is dropped, looked over, penalty expires. Nice job by the Trojans there on the penalty kill. Grace battling, good job by Grace to get that puck chipped aside. Peter Koski in pursuit now too. That puck goes out of the zone as Teagarden was tied up. Nice job by Homewood now, comes out of off the bench there after the penalty was served by Fort. So that goes back, hits Sloan. Sloan now clears that out to mid-ice, collected by Columbus, cross center ice, dumps it back in. So now with a little bit of room, here comes Sloan. That gets kind of tucked aside a little bit, so he's going to wrap that around the boards to Teagarden. Teagarden's going to get that. Try to move it up the boards as well. Now chipped up front, out to the middle. Peter Koski has it. He's going to make a play for open ice. Nice job there by Peter Koski. Gets that down just far enough to prevent the icing, but out of the zone. Coming back for it was the Trojans as they sent that all the way down. So now Webb Sloan gets that up to George Homewood just past his stick as they tried to create a non-man rush situation there. And now Sloan collects again, dumps that back to the corner as puck rolled over his stick. So now collecting behind the net is Columbus. Columbus with it in the corner now. Nice job there by Eddie Homewood to tie him up. And then in comes his brother George to get that puck. Now sent back down by Columbus. Eddie Homewood's got it now. He's going to reverse, go opposite side, get that off the boards to Grace. Takes a weird bounce, but playing the puck right there was George Homewood, and that pops out to Webb Sloan. Now Webb Sloan, we've got a 3-on-2 developing here. Webb Sloan's got it. He's going to move to the middle, keep the puck, fire a shot in front. Just goes wide as George Homewood was trying to get a stick down, tip that in. Harrison Chafe now in the corner battling for it too with George Homewood. Chafe's got it. He's going to try to dangle through a couple players. Backhand one towards the middle of the net. Grace is there too. Oh, just couldn't get it in. And Columbus will clear that. That's going to go down the length of the ice. They got a race for it though, but it looks like it's going to be an icing, and it is. So good offensive pressure early here by the Trojans, and we'll have an offensive zone face-off. George Homewood to take that face-off. Oh, no, never mind. Doing a line change, so Mason Cooper take that face-off with Schwab and Chafe out there as the other forwards. Henry Fort and Eddie Homewood out there on defense. Goes back to Eddie Homewood. He dumps that down to the corner, wraps behind the net. Schwab is there. Schwab's going to put that in front. Oh, just tipped aside. Good centering pass by Schwab. Eddie Homewood now racing back. He's got the puck. He backhands that a little bit along the boards, collected by Columbus. They're going to look to move through the main area, but that's collected by Cooper as they try to shot attempt, but hit a body. So Cooper's going to bang that up the boards to Schwab. Schwab's going to get across center ice, dump that down deep, and pursue. It looks like he's going to be the first person there. He is trying to get a centering pass off, but it's again tricky to calm that puck down. Now Fort there along the boards, but tipped out towards Columbus. Nice stick lift by Fort, able to get that forward there. Mason Cooper there as well. Centering pass tipped aside by Biggs. Now nice job by Fort in the corner there, playing the body. And then that's tipped forward by Mason Cooper, sent back by the Columbus defense. Cooper tried to get a stick on it, but evaded there. Now trying to get that in front is Columbus. Nice job there by Nichols to stick that aside. That goes out to Chafe. He tried to get a stick on it as well. Now up in the center, shot above the glove of Biggs. And that's a goal. Under 3 minutes left in the first. So we'll do a quick line change here all around, and we've got George Homewood out, takes face off with Burkhardt and Beach there. Nichols and Sloan back on defense. Homewood gets that back and over, but then that hits Sloan. Sloan's going to take that moving forward. He's going to try to center one. Shoot one. Oh, off the kneecap of a Columbus player there. Burkhardt now in the corner trying to get that puck batted back down. Now Sloan playing it along the boards too. Nichols has it now out at center ice. Now Nichols making a move. He gets kind of tripped up and taken down. No call there. That gets sent back out. Sloan has it. Sloan's going to keep that along the boards till everyone can clear. Now battle along the boards with Homewood. Beach has it now. Beach still collecting with it. Try to get that forward, and now we've got Columbus has it, but knocked away by Nichols. Nice job there, and George Homewood collects. Now George Homewood tries to get that over to Beach, try to get that back to Homewood, but just couldn't find the tape on the stick there. But Teagarden brings it in. Now he takes it to the outside, tried to get around. He still got it. Gets tripped up a little bit, but Homewood has it loose in front. Oh my gosh, now tipped aside. Now tipped again. Active sticks there by the Trojans. Just can't capitalize. Homewood tried to make a move there around the corner. Teagarden now sends it back down, and then that gets sent down the length of the ice. Most likely that's going to be icing again, and it is. So now with 1:33 left here in the first, we'll have another offensive zone face-off for the Trojans. Let's see in the closing minute and a half here of the first if they can tie this up going into the intermission. Mason Cooper out with Ryland Peterkoski and Ben Grace on this line with Fort and Eddie Homewood back on defense. Puck is dropped over to the corner. Now Grace trying to collect it there. He's got it. Looking for a spot in front. He's got, oh yeah, Eddie Homewood just bounced over his stick. Nice effort there by the Trojans, and now Columbus is trying to gain speed moving through the neutral zone. Good back checking by Peter Koski. Now Columbus with it behind the net, trying to find a centering opportunity. That bounces off the back of the net. Fort tried to clear that over to Peter Koski, and we've got a checking call, roughing rather. So now we'll get a look at the Trojan power play here. As number 24 goes into the box. So the Trojans will have a power play for the remainder of this period, obviously, unless they score. So Cooper, Peter Koski, and Grace out there with Fort and Nichols now. Goes back to Fort. Fort puts that back down in the corner for Grace. Grace tried to center pass. Nice. Good pass, but couldn't collect on it. And now collecting at the blue line is Columbus. Columbus now moving in a man down. Nice job by Peter Koski to try to prevent any forward passes. Nichols has that now. Nichols is going to play that up the boards to Grace. Grace going to chip that forward. Columbus is racing back to collect. Get a little bit of a change here. Sloan comes out for Fort on the defensive end. Grace still pressuring. Nice job there. Kept in by, nope, not kept in. So it looked like we were going to have a nice play there at the blue line, but they say it bounced out. So we'll have a neutral zone face-off as George Homewood comes out to take face-off with Shape and Schwab. Sloan and Teagarden back on defense. Gets that back to Sloan, over to Teagarden. Teagarden gets that up to Schwab. Columbus has it, tries to clear it. They do get it out to neutral ice, tipped aside by Teagarden. Sloan collects now. Sloan now going through the middle. Sloan throws one at the net, sticked aside by the goaltender for Columbus. Schwab over there dumps it back down in the corner. George Homewood now pursuing as well. Homewood's he gets an elbow, no call. Gets knocked down, and that's going to be the end of the first period. So, Trojans will still have 28 seconds left on a power play to start the second period. So we'll pause momentarily while the teams meet up, talk about it, switch sides. Join us back here for the start of the second period. All right, welcome back to the start of the second period. So Trojans down 1-0 after a late goal with just under 3 minutes left here in the third by Columbus. But we've got just under 30 seconds of a power play here for the Trojans to start the second period. Puck is dropped. Homewood takes that. He gets that off the rip, dumps that into the zone, tried to, just out of play. So we'll have a neutral zone face-off there. Homewood out there with Peter Koski and Grace. Tip back to Sloan. Sloan gets that over to Teagarden. Teagarden now plays that along the boards deep into the offensive zone. Trying to clear his Columbus. Oh, just got past everybody's sticks. So now Webb Sloan collects. He looks opposite ice to Ryland. Peter Koski chips that into the zone. Nice look there. And it still goes deeper into the zone as Ryland pursuing. Tried to get a backhand centering pass, but that hit a stick of a Columbus player. George Homewood has it. Throws it towards the middle. Peter Koski got a stick on it, but just sticked aside by the goaltender for Columbus. Columbus collects now. Columbus at full strength. Nice job by Sloan along the boards to play that. Get that over to Grace. Grace now looking for a centering pass. Oh, just couldn't find anybody on the connecting pass. And then good job there by George Homewood to steal that. Then tries to go through a couple players, but runs into one of his own. And trying to get that forward. It's player for Columbus pass, but held on to by Biggs. Nice job by Biggs. And good pressure by the Findlay defense there to prevent a tough shot, or to create a tough shot. So. Mace Cooper out, take face off for the Trojans. Puck is dropped back to the defense. Eddie Homewood gets that around to Burkhart. Burkhart's got it now. He's out with Beach and Cooper. Burkhart's pursuing, getting close. He throws one at the net, sticked aside by Columbus. Beach is over there in the corner to battle for it. Comes back out. Nichols is there in the slot. He's going to fire a shot that gets tipped high. Goes off the boards behind the net. Burkhart now in the corner. Nice job along the boards there to slow them up. Columbus still has it, but it hits Nichols. Nichols now has some room. He's going to go forward. He's going to fire a shot. Oh, just hit the side of the net. Had the goaltender beat. Now collected in front. Burkhart has it. Tried a centering backhand. Now he's still got it in front. He's pushing for it. And now another shot. That time from Nichols, but Columbus goaltender got a piece of it. And now Columbus is bringing it through neutral ice. We've got a 2-on-2 situation here. They're going to fire a shot. Biggs on the ready, but that was sticked aside. Nice job there by Nichols. Now he's going to turn, look for some options. He's going to now skate through the middle. Now he's got some speed up through the ice. He's going to backhand that in deep as Beach and Burkhart are there. Burkhart goes behind the net along with Beach. Try to hold that up. Burkhart holds it up there. Nice job there. Played the body. Comes out to Cooper. Cooper fires a shot that gets tipped in front. He was in the slot, had an opportunity there, but too many bodies in front. It's now Columbus trying to go opposite ice on a breakaway. Nichols is there with them, though. Holds that up. Nice job by Nichols. Schaaf is out there now. That centering pass comes out to Cooper. Cooper now tries to get that up the boards to Schaaf. That goes out through the middle, then Homewood tried to kick that, and then they'll have an offsides as it kept bouncing back and forth with players still in the zone for Columbus. Now puck is dropped. Homewood on the face-off. We're going to probably have another offsides, it looks like. As Columbus players are in the zone before the puck, so. George Homewood takes face-off, gets that back. Playing it off the boards, trying to, was Sloan as Schaaf was breaking, but hit a Columbus player, but now Schaaf has it. Now he backhands that into the zone. Trying to keep it in was Findlay, but that bounces back out. So now Webb Sloan collects. He's going to reset, calm this bouncing puck down. Make a man miss. Try to go up towards the middle, but intercepted by Columbus. And then nice job there. That comes out to Schwab. Schwab's going to get it out of the zone now. Nope, tried to. Came back. Now Fort's going to carry it. Fort's going to try to get across center ice, dump that in, but we're going to have a penalty on the back end there. we got a roughing penalty as number 12 came in, looks like. Sorry, 11 came in for Columbus. And cross-checked Findlay's number 11, George Homewood, in the back. So we'll get another look at Trojan power play, see if they can tie this up with the man advantage. Mason Cooper out to take the face off. He'll have Grace Peterkoski out there with him. Fort and Sloan back on defense. Keeping that in, nice job there. Now Peterkoski has it. He's going to get that down to Grace. Tipped aside, though, by Columbus. Now trying to get to it is Findlay, but Columbus able to get it out of the zone. And now nice work there by Fort to poke that puck away. He's got some room now. We've got a 3-on-3 developing. Fort's got it. He's going to take a shot. Oh, goes just wide. Good shot by Fort. And now Ryland battling down there in the corner. Ben Grace goes to join him too behind the boards, or behind the net rather, along the boards. Puck's still loose. Grace has it. He's going to try to sneak one in. Oh, just poked aside. And then sent out of the zone by Columbus. Racing back for it is Webb Sloan, as he's going to get around the net with it. He's going to get that up to Peterkoski and then trying to move that forward. Tipped aside, but Peterkoski has it. He's going to get across center ice, tip that forward. Columbus has it still. Less than 30 seconds left on the penalty, on the power play opportunity. Now looking for a little bit of space is Sloan. He dumps it down into the zone. Chipped aside by Columbus. Beach on the back check. Columbus brings it back into the zone. 10 seconds left on the power play. Trojans have it now. Going to move it up the ice. Tried to get that over, but they were going to have an offsides call now. So we'll have a neutral zone face-off as all teams at full strength. Sorry, we're actually going to have a face-off down in the Findlay offensive zone. There are 2 seconds left in the penalty. George Holman out to take face-off for the Trojans. He has Burkhardt and Beach out there with him. Collecting that out and looking for a breakaway. But then Teagarden, nice job, as the guy coming out of the box was looking for a breakaway. And Teagarden got back there to stifle that. And now Sloan's going to work his way through. Almost got his way through multiple players. Tried to tip that in front. Intercepted by Columbus. Now Teagarden's got it out in neutral ice. Tried to send it up the middle of the beach. Tipped aside. No icing. Now Columbus has it. Burkhardt tried to hold that up behind the net. Just missed there. And now sent back, and Teagarden has it. Teagarden brings it behind the net. Surveying options. He's getting a little bit of pressure, trying to get that out. Just sent out, or sent back by Columbus. Nichols has it, tries to go opposite side of the boards, gets it to Burkhardt. Now we've got a 2-on-3 developing. Burkhardt now tries to shoot, still got it, shoots it front. Oh, almost tipped in by Homewood. And then collected by Columbus, sent out. Nice work there by Homewood and Nichols to move that forward. As Eddie Homewood knocked that forward. Eddie Homewood's got it. Now we're going to have, looks like a penalty or an offsides. Offsides is the call. Almost had one in there on that shot from Burkhardt, and then Homewood was right there. Just couldn't tip it in, but like the chances here, let's keep those going. Puck is dropped, goes back. Nichols has it, sends that over to Eddie Homewood across ice. Gets it back to Nichols. Nichols tucks it aside, gets that up to Eddie Homewood, gets that into the zone, but then knocked back out of the zone. Now Mason Cooper's going to collect. He's got Schwab and Schaaf out there with him. Gets that up to Schaaf. That bounces off the boards. Now Schaaf in pursuit along with Schwab on the forecheck. That puck goes all the way through everybody down the other end, so that's going to be an icing. So Mace Cooper takes face off for the Trojans. Gets that over, trying to get that over to Schwab. Now bouncing in the middle. Now Nichols sticks that aside. Good job by Nichols. Nichols now going behind the net with it from the defensive end. He's pursuing options. Tried to center that. Oh, no one could get a stick on it. Unfortunately, Schwab was there too, battling for it, but Columbus comes up with it, brings it out of the neutral zone. Now goes to the offensive zone, taking it to the outside, but nice work there by Mason Cooper to prevent any sort of pass. That goes back to the corner. Eddie Homewood wraps that along the boards to Harrison Schaaf. Schaaf tries to chip that out, but held in by Columbus. Columbus now looking for a shot. Nice poke check there by Mason Cooper. And then trying to chip that up along to Schwab was Nichols. He does. They're still battling along the boards. Schaaf gets it out, and then we're going to have an offsides. Sorry, that was Nichols and Schaaf over there working hard. So now George Homewood comes out with Ben Grace and Jonah Burkhart. Fort and Sloan back on defense. Puck is dropped, pushed forward. Now sticked aside by Fort back into the neutral zone. Columbus trying to collect and center one. They do. Fort back there working with it. Gets that up to Homewood. Homewood now's got some ice. Now Homewood's going to go carry. Tried to get that over to Burkhart, but hits a stick. And now Columbus gets it up through the neutral zone, and then trying to stick that away is Sloan. Hits his skate, so he gets it up to Ben Grace. Ben Grace has it now. He's going to try to work along the boards with it. That goes back down into the zone, into the corner. Burkhart in pursuit behind the net as well, but Columbus gets that pass off over to their captain there. But then nice interception there by Homewood, at least get the stick on it. Now he's got it. Burkhart's got it now. Burkhart now gets it over to Homewood. Homewood tries to make a move. Oh, man. Just missed the puck there. And then Homewood's got it again. Good battling by Homewood. Homewood's got a fire shot. That's loose in front, but nobody there. And we've got, looks like maybe we've got a hooking penalty. A hooking penalty on number 11 for Columbus. That's his second penalty of the game so far. So now with just under 4.5 minutes left in the second, we're getting another look at the Trojan power play. Mason Cooper out now to take the face off. He's got Beach and Schaaf out there with him. Puck is dropped, gets that over to Henry Fort. Fort's got it. He tried to get that over to the middle. That got deflected. So Columbus is bringing that up. They're going to send that deep into the zone. Sloan and Cooper back. Sloan's going to collect. Sloan's going to tuck that back, make a guy miss, go back behind the net, survey options as we look to set up a breakout. So that goes off the boards, but kept in by Columbus. And now kept out. Nice job there by Schaaf to put some pressure on it. Now Beach has it. Now Beach is going to move. Beach is pushing now. Beach stick handle, trying to get to the middle, put one towards the net, just poked wide, but Beach pursuing. He still got it, tried to send it towards the middle, but nobody there to collect. As Columbus tried to move forward through the neutral zone with it, and it's still lost, and Beach is still there, causing problems, creating pressure. Good effort there by Beach, and then Fort sticks that aside, and now Schaaf's got it, and he tries to get it up to Beach just a little too fast as Beach was trying to break towards the middle, so now Beach pursuing. That puck's still in the offensive zone. Schaaf there, too, pushing that back. Now Columbus wraps it all the way around. That comes out. Fort's there. So he's going to play that along the boards, get that in a little deeper, and then keep it in as Columbus tried to get that out. So now Fort's got it. He's going to wind up taking a shot. That is stopped by the goaltender for Columbus, but he drops down, or Schaaf drops down, actually. And now looking for a centering pass to Beach. Beach in the middle, gets that back out to Fort. Fort fires a shot. Blocker save. Nice shot by Fort. And then going opposite side, looking for someone coming out of the box. And racing back is Sloan. Great job by Sloan, even though it should have been a too many men on the ice penalty there for Columbus. But great job there by Sloan. And then we're going to have some kind of penalty here. Maybe not. I'm not sure exactly what transpired down there. Nobody's in the box. That's okay. Everyone's skating even on each side. But we'll have George Homewood out there with Ben Grace and Hank Schwab. We'll have Teagarden and Eddie Homewood on defense. Ben Grace pushes that forward. Nice job by Grace pursuing. And now Homewood has it, gets it over to Grace, but that bounces off his back in the middle, but tipped forward again by Homewood, and Grace is there with it. Trying to, puck still loose in front. Nice pursuit there by Grace as he gets it along the boards, gets that over to Teagarden. Teagarden's got some time. He's going to try to fire a shot that gets tipped aside by the stick of the forward in front, but then Schwab able to get his body on that. That's still loose in front. Grace battling for it, gets knocked over. Now playing it along the boards is Columbus, but kept in by Eddie Homewood. Ben Grace is there, tried to knock that forward, but Columbus knocks that back out of the zone. Now Teagarden collects for your Trojans. Moves that opposite side along the boards. Comes back and forth, a little ping pong. That puck's still loose, so Teagarden pursuing, trying to get that out of the zone, does. Columbus forced to collect, and then Schwab is there, gets that over to Grace. Grace now moves it to the outside. He's going to keep battling with it down the corner. He's still got it. He gets tripped up. No call there, no hands, as Columbus tries to get that out. But Teagarden there battling, gets it back to Grace in the corner. Grace now tried to make a move, get it back behind the net. Still loose in front. Schwab there to help, but sticked aside and out. So now we've got a one-on-one. Teagarden back now. Player tried to go inside, outside. Nice job by Teagarden on a back check, and Finn with the save. Keep this game a one-goal deficit right now with a little bit of time left in the second. Looks like teams are getting familiar with each other. Referees come in and say you're familiar enough. We're going to have a face-off. So now George Homewood out there with Burkhardt and Beach. Nichols and Fort out there on defense. That gets sent back in the skates of a referee. Now Beach has it. He's going to collect. And now Beach gets that back down to the offensive zone. Gets sent forward by Columbus. Kept in by the Trojans, but then brought back out by Columbus. Nice back checking there by Burkhardt. Should have been an offsides, but that's okay. We'll play forward. Now puck races out to the middle. Bounces in front, and Finn Biggs covers. So we'll have another face-off here in the defensive zone to the glove hand side of Findlay goaltender Finn Biggs. Mason Cooper out to take face-off. Gets that over to the side. Beach gets dumped on the boards with a cross-check. No call. Now getting hooked for high heaven is Mason Cooper. No call there either. But he's able to get it up to Beach. Now Beach is going to go down, dump that down to the corner, and pursue that. And now playing that along the boards is Fort. Nice job by Fort there. Beach now gets it. Now kept in by Fort as they tried to wrap it around. Sends that back behind the net. We're going to play back and forth, it looks like a little bit, as Fort's got it now. And then trying to get that out is Columbus, and they finally do. So it's collected by Nichols. We've got 10 seconds left at the end of the period. He's going to fire one towards the net. That goes just wide, and that's going to be the end of the second. So still a 1-0 game in favor of Columbus at the moment, but going into this second intermission, teams again will talk some strategy, switch sides, and join us back here momentarily for the start of an exciting third period. All right, thanks, folks. Welcome back to the start of the third period. We're going to have George Homewood out there take the face-off with Schwab and Schaaf. Teagarden and Sloan back on defense. Puck is dropped, tipped forward. Homewood tried to get that. Schaaf was out there too trying to make a play on that. Tipped aside, nice job there by Sloan. Sloan's going to now look for a little bit of space. He's going to go up along the boards. He's still got the puck and he's still got a little bit of space. Tries to take that to the middle, tries to get a shot off. Tied up as he brought that in all through a bunch of players. So now Schaaf is over there too, and we're going to have a little bit of a penalty going on. And we're going to have two players in the box, one for each team for cross-checking for that batch of shenanigans behind the net there. But both teams will still skate 5-on-5 now because of the offsetting penalties. So Homewood out there takes face off for Trojans. Get that to Schwab. Schwab tried to take a backhand pass. Now a shot. Oh, from the blue line. Catches the very end edge of the net, far side of the net, and goes in. So that's 2-0. To start the third period. It's now Homewood out there with Grace and Peter Koski, along with Eddie Homewood and Nichols. Faceoff goes back to Columbus, held up by George Homewood along the boards. He's going to backhand that, but then ping-ponging back and forth is the puck. Now George Homewood comes out and collects it through neutral ice. And, thought we had everybody on sides, but the referees disagreed, so we're going to have a neutral zone face-off. Puck is dropped, sent forward. Beach and Burkhardt out there now with Mason Cooper. That gets sent forward. Tried to make a play on the puck was Nichols, made some contact. Cooper gets that up to Burkhardt. Burkhardt dumps that down into the zone and then knocked back out, but Cooper collects, gets that over to Nichols. Nichols now tries to play that along the boards. Columbus collects the neutral ice. Beach is there too, so is Cooper. Columbus trying to enter the zone, sends that aside, try to shot. Shot hits Cooper. Nice block by Cooper there, that shot from the slot. Now we're going to have a penalty. It's going to be on. Nope. I think Columbus. As Findlay was touching the puck. So now the Trojans will have a power play as number 34 goes in the box. Roughing. So Homewood out there with George Homewood out there with Peter Koski and it's like Grace, Fort, and Nichols out on defense. See if the Trojans can cut into this deficit with the man advantage. Homewood pushes that forward. Now Grace has the puck behind the net. He centers it. Collected by Nichols. Nichols is going to fire a shot. That gets through and collected by the goaltender for Columbus and held on to.
Jump in!
Now puck is dropped again. Homewood gets that back over to Nichols. Nichols has it. He tries to get that back down into the boards along the zone. Grace has it now. Battling with Peter Koski. Sent along the side, wrapped around the net by Columbus. Columbus gets that out of the zone. Now Nichols is racing. Stick to side. Oh! Biggs tried to stick that aside, and it got tipped back by Columbus for a shorthanded goal as they were pursuing on
Let's go.
So now still a power play for the Trojans, but man down, or down 3 goals rather. Cooper gets that over to Grace. Grace now has it in the corner. He's looking, circling, sends it in front. Why? We have a whistle. Not sure what the whistle's for. They're going to put a Findlay player in the box now for some reason. So now Mason Cooper goes into the box for a call I couldn't pick up there when they went by the scoring table. So we'll skate 4-on-4 here for 50 seconds now. Homewood and Grace out there now with Teagarden and Sloan. Puck is dropped. Homewood tried to get that forward. Now out to the point. Tipped aside. Biggs with the save. Nice save by Biggs as that shot was tipped in front. Puck is dropped again. Homewood gets that back to Sloan. Sloan tries to tip that forward. Homewood tried to get a stick on it. Now, good collapsing pressure. Almost out of zone. Now tipped off the skate of Grace out of the zone. Now Columbus has it. They're collecting. Homewood now, nice play there on the stick lift there. Teagarden has it now. Now he's going to push forward with it. He's still got it. He's going to look to go to the middle, get a shot off in front. Homewood there, trying to pull one forward off of a stick, goes over the goal. Now looking to make a play is Columbus as they move forward through neutral ice. Back checking is Grace. Homewood also, and then we're going to have a penalty there as well, looks like, as Homewood made some contact. So 2 seconds left of the Columbus penalty, and then they're going to skate 5-on-3 for a little bit here. We're going to have a major and a minor penalty assessed here, so be an additional player in the box for Findlay for a while. So that puck, Beach with that face off. Nice job by Beach, gets that over. Teagarden has it now. Now Columbus with a 3-on-5 for the next minute and 15 seconds, and we'll have an icing there. Now Beach again to take the face off for the Trojans. Puck's knocked aside. Teagarden tried to get that out. Shot. Biggs covers, holds on to it. Nice job by Biggs there. Beach with the face off again. Ties up, gets it back to Sloan. Good job by Beach. Sloan plays that along the boards, kept in by the defense at Columbus. Now Columbus looking for a centering pass, goes awry over to the side. Teagarden there, nice play by Teagarden. Now he's got it, he's going to get it out of the zone. He does. He's pushing and pursuing a little bit because he's still got it. Teagarden now with it in the corner, trying to kill some clock, make something happen, plays that along the net. Now he's got it behind the net, try to get that in front. Beach has it now. Beach is going to fire, take a shot. That's loose in front. Oh, just sticked aside by the defense of Columbus as Cooper's there now to make a play on it. He holds it into the zone. Trojans man down for the next 30 seconds, but battling hard here. Now getting tipped forward. Sloan tried to keep that in and then knocked away. But then there's Fort coming out off the bench. He's got it. He gets that over to Cooper. Cooper tips that forward. Then it gets sent out of the zone. And now we've got a developing 2-on-1. Now Sloan trying to play it, but they cut inside. And the player loses it. No shot. And Cooper's there to collect. And he gets tripped up. No call. Now Sloan has it. Sloan's going to wrap that around the boards, try to get that to Cooper. Cooper's going to play it against the boards. Comes out to Beach. Beach is going to get that to Schwab, but that's going to be intercepted by the Columbus defense. Tipped forward, but knocked aside there by Eddie Homewood, who tried to get that up to Schwab. Schwab gets that forward. Now centering pass collected by Beach. Beach now on a little bit of a breakaway. Dumps that back to Schwab. Schwab gets it up to Beach. Beach trying to get a shot on it, got tipped aside. Now both teams back at full strength. Oh, and then knocked aside is Eddie Homewood along the boards. So we're going to have offsetting calls, as they also called Shea for a penalty as well. So we shall see how this all sorts out here.
You guys are pretty cool, man. Hey, 5-3. Hey, why don't you get control of your players? They're sitting right in front of the box. Your kids. You're right in front of the box. Carol, we'll get you some strikes for next game, okay? All right, just control your kids. Asshole.
So we'll skate 4-on-4 here. It looks like. Nope, we will skate 5-on-4. Advantage Trojans, so. As that puck is dropped. That goes down the ice. Homewood is racing for it. He comes out with the puck. Tried to backhand that, but that goes right to the Columbus player. But Schwab is there, gets a stick on it. Columbus player shoots, blocked. Shot again, blocked by Cooper. Cooper now gets that up to Hank Schwab. Hank Schwab tried to get that forward to Ben Grace. He does. Grace now battling for it. Almost got through a couple players. That puck loose in front. Tried to tip it aside. So Fort's got it. Fort takes a shot back. It's sticked aside. And now looking to send that across was Columbus. Findlay got a glove on it. They're going to send that up to Cooper. Gets that up to Grace. They've got a 3-on-3. Trying to get that up to Cooper was Grace. Just past his stick. And now Columbus sends it out of the zone. Nichols is there, collects it. Nice little spin along the boards. He's going to try to bring that in. That gets sent out to Webb Sloan. Webb Sloan now has it. He's got a little bit of room. He's going to fire a shot. That goes just wide. Now Grace along the boards, trying to keep that into the zone. Columbus comes out with it. Burkhart there too, pursuing, loses a stick. Now battling with it is Grace along the boards as well. Sloan's there, collects it, gets it up to Grace along the boards, pushes that out. Grace is going to push. We've got a 3-on-2 going. He's got Peter Koski over there, gets it over to Peter Koski. Peter Koski with a shot. Oh, save and held onto by the Columbus goaltender. Now Beach takes face off for the Trojans. Puck is dropped. Beach tried to get that back, but that gets sent to the corner. Getting tripped up was Grace. No call there. And trying to get that out is Columbus. They do. Sloan collects and neutral ice, moves that forward along the boards. Now it's mishandled. Beach has it now. Beach is going to fire a shot. That hits the back of a Columbus player. Peter Koski there battling along the boards as well. Sent back out. Tipped by Nichols, but couldn't collect, so he's going to get that reset. And now sent over to Grace. Grace has a little bit of room. Grace going to go to the outside. He's going to try and get a shot. That hits a player for Columbus. Peter Koski there, though, battling behind the boards. He's still got it. Sends it out towards the middle off of a skate and goes wide. And then falling, blowing a tire by himself is a Columbus player. So Beach has it. He's going to get that up the boards to Peter Koski. Peter Koski dumps that in and now tries to move forward. No interference call there as he was interfered with, but now cross-ice pass. Burkhart's got it. Burkhart with a shot. Score! Woo! 5 minutes left, and so cutting into the deficit. We'll bring that out to center ice. Puck is dropped. That gets stick forward by Mason Cooper. Now sent back into the zone by Columbus. Just at 4.5 minutes left in the third here of game one of these two-game matchup today. Poked aside as Teagarden was trying to take that, but then Mason Cooper collects. He wraps behind, brings that back to along the boards. He gets hit. That gets sent out though, and Schaaf is there. Schaaf now is going to push on it. He's going to get that down to the corner. That gets knocked aside as well, sent out of the zone. Webb Sloan racing back for the Trojans. He collects. He turns. Oh, tried to get that up to Schaaf, but then right there was Cooper. Now Cooper tiptoeing the line as people were offsides. Gets that back over to Sloan. Sloan now chips that in on the offensive end. And now that puck tips forward. Cooper on the back check. Columbus has it. Teagarden there as well. Interference, no call, as that player skated right through Teagarden to allow his other player to make a shot, but Cooper collects the puck, reverses, tries to get that up the boards to Schaaf. Schaaf now battling, and now Cooper comes out with it, gets that over to Schwab. Schwab's now got it. He's going to try to move forward. He's going to put one towards the net. Oh, just sticked aside by the Columbus goaltender. As we're just under 3.5 minutes left, as Columbus puts that all the way down the length of the ice. They're going to call that off, saying it was tipped. Beach racing back to go get that. Beach has it now. He's going to try to get ahead of steam. He's going to cut back away, but just loses the puck. Columbus has it now, but then Burkhart there to tip that aside too, along with Teagarden. Now centering pass. Nice tie up there by Sloan, so Beach collects. Beach tries to get that forward. Now Burkhart going to pursue that. Burkhart tried to chip that forward. He's got it along the boards. Battling, gets that up to Grace. Now Grace trying to move forward with it. Columbus collects. But Grace on the pursuit, still in the corner. And now collected out. Now Burkhart holds them up a little bit. They get out of the zone, though. Nice job there by the Trojans, though, to slow that up. Sloan got a stick on it, too, but that just went aside. They get a shot. Biggs was there on the ready. Now Teagarden collects on it. Now Teagarden with it on his backhand, moves to the forehand, gets that up. Burkhart gets tripped up on the process. And then held up by Burkhart. Now Burkhart tries to move that forward. Beach has it now. Collected at center ice. Fort's got it. He's going to go across to the open ice to Nichols. Nichols is now going to charge forward. He's got a little bit of space. He's going to move around the corner. He's going to try to find Grace in the middle. Tipped. Oh, just got a leg pad on it. Was a Columbus goaltender now looking to get it out. Was Fort, but then collected back out to the middle. Grace has it, sends it back to the corner. We're under 2 minutes here. Sent back around the side of the boards. Fort has it. Peter Koski now with it. Peter Koski throws it in front, tipped it at Grace, but just couldn't get to the net. Now Nichols has it. Nichols now battling on corner. He gets taken down. Huge penalty coming up here. As that goes out to the front. Shot! Loose in front. And covered finally. Whistle. A lot of good fight here by the Trojans. Trying to cut into this lead a little bit further in the closing minutes of the game. And they are going to be on the power play for the remainder of this game unless they score another goal. As number 50 goes into the box for Columbus. And we've got a timeout by Columbus as well. So Findlay now with an empty net. It's going to be a 6-on-4 situation as they're on the power play here. Mace Cooper takes the face off. Takes a shot. That gets sent looking out to the middle of the Grace. That goes off his stick. Fort collects. We've got 1:12 left. He gets it over to Nichols. Nichols fires one in front. It's loose. It's tipped aside and behind the net. Ben Grace now collects. Grace gets that out to the point. Now out to Sloan. Sloan gets that over to Fort. Fort fires one. Oh, just stopped by Columbus goaltender. Loose in front. Now collected by Columbus. There's an ensuing penalty. Now loose in front, touched. As there's another penalty by Columbus here. So now we'll have another timeout, this time by Findlay. It's got the empty net, and we'll have a 3-man advantage with that empty net, with 2 in the box for Columbus. So Cooper out there with with Sloan, Fort, Nichols, Schaaf, and Grace. Goes back to Nichols. Nichols goes around to the corner. He's got it, looking for a wraparound, trying to get it in front to Schaaf. Now get it out to Cooper. Cooper now looking for a little bit of room. Gets that back to Nichols. Nichols now fires one, just goes high. Now Fort's got it. He gets that out to the point to Nichols. Nichols fires one in front, loose in front, Grace is there. Oh, gets tipped aside in the closing seconds, and that's going to be the end of the game. So the end of game one ends in a chippy 3-1 victory for Columbus, but join us again as these teams split the first time they played down in Columbus as well. And we'll be back at 5:30 for game 2 here at the Cube. Thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you soon.